Mark Zuckerberg issues a letter to Jim Jordan advising that his team starting over, starting over. Mark Zuckerberg writes a letter to Jim Jordan advising that his team at Facebook had their hand forced to bury certain information. We're going to take a look at the reason and the letter, and motivation is now. Be right back. Welcome back, Tarot fam. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner for over 35 years, YouTuber for like going on 4, love free speech. But I do know that me and a lot of my YouTube buddies, like my friend Alicia Wicker, who really taught me how to watch my mouth here on the platform, we knew that there were a lot of words that we couldn't use. There were a lot of things that we couldn't say here on YouTube. As of today, we have this wonderful letter that came out 2 days ago. Well, we got it yesterday, but basically it is claiming that the US government, the Biden administration, pressured our teams, this is a quote, repeatedly pressured our teams for months to censor certain 19 content, including humor and satire, and expressed a lot of frustration with our teams when we didn't agree. Ultimately, it was our decision whether or not to take content down, and we own our decisions, including 19 related changes we made to our enforcement in the wake of pressure. I believe the government pressure was wrong, and I regret that we were not more outspoken about it. I also think that we made some choices that, with the benefit of hindsight and new information, we wouldn't make today. Like I said, our teams at the time, I feel strongly that we should not compromise our content standards due to pressure from any administration in either direction, and we are ready to push back if something like this happens again. Bombshell, indeed. So, like most of us, we were very careful about what we discussed online about 19. I don't even know if I can say it. I'm going to keep making that noise. So, and also, those of you that are aware, I've been sick for since Friday, and it may be 19. I did test. I tested my son. Didn't come back positive, but we were informed that an event that we were at on the 16th was chock full of people that came down with 19. So let's take a look. We're going to go back in time and we're going to look at the motivations when this was going on, because I do want to see if Mark Zuckerberg, who everybody knows and loves, if Mark Zuckerberg is coming along or if he's running to the safety of the side that is revealing all this information. So thank you for being here. This is probably the riskiest video that I'm doing on YouTube. So I'm going to bring up the card view. I'm still a little sick, so I look a little under the weather. My hair doesn't look that great, but I got it in a ponytail. God bless America. I'm going to bring up the card view. Let's do this. And comment down below. Tell me if you had your spirit squashed. And I got incense all over this. Blech. So I got to wash my table cover. So let's start. Let's go back in time. We're going to go back 2020. We're going to see what the Zuck felt about the information that was being promoted on his Frankenstein's monster we call Facebook. I know a lot of people don't like Facebook, but I keep in touch with a lot of people on Facebook. So, all right, boom. 10 of Swords. So again, we're talking about 2020, the energy back in 2020. This is putting down your sword, not fighting, being pinned down into position. What was crossing him? The Knight of Pentacles. They were crossing him with financial things. So this would have been him paying out large sums of money. So I don't know if there was some negotiation on like some tax breaks or something like that. Under the surface, there was a lot of people pressuring him. It wasn't just one direction. Temperance, they were seeing an unequal amount of information that was coming out. Which information were they trying to squash? So were they trying to, I'm just going to hang on to that for a second. Were they trying to squash the accurate information? I'm sorry, I have a million tabs open. Trying to squash accurate information. Yes, they were trying to put that to bed. And they were trying to create a narrative of safety with that Six of Swords. So, you know, false sense. We get that Six of Swords. You know, swords are medical stuff in tarot, like needles and things like that, creating a narrative with that. So that Ace of Cups at the top, I do think that he was forced into the decision, forced into that process by many voices. It's ringing. The cards are ringing true with what we saw in the letter. And I do have the letter right up here. So the cards are ringing true with that. And I think there was a certain amount of trust that was put there. I think he did trust. So outcome, which is going to bring us to today. So the outcome, Five of Pentacles. He's really on an island right now. So I know historically they did support more left-leaning Democratic causes, but now it looks like that side is kind of falling apart, and he is trying to get some equilibrium with the current milieu. So how does he see himself? Again, we're talking about 2020. 2020, not able to do what he needs to do, not able to make things go the way they're supposed to. How did others see him? Oh, uncooperative, and going to, this is having your boot on someone's neck. That is absolutely, Nine of Cups is having your boot on someone's neck, forcing them into a decision that you are engineering, hopes and fears. Again, we're talking about Zuck 2020. Sad squirrel. He was just hoping this would all blow over and go away. I don't want to do this. This is our spoiled, rotten brat. This is our toddler throwing a tantrum. But in the back, like when we get it in reverse, we're talking about I just want to make it go away. This is the toddler that had the broke a vase, did something, and now they're leaning against the wall, covering their face. Total outcome. The Magician. They promised him something. This was an exchange. There was a transaction here, but it was not really to his benefit. They gave him the pen on certain things here. So he was forced. Absolutely. There was monetary issues, but they also opened up some doors for him. So I don't know if they promised that Facebook was going to be the top seeded service provider. Maybe that's how we wound up with Meta. I don't know when Meta became Meta. But maybe that was what they said. You're going to be the center of the universe. You're going to be our comms guy. You're going to be the guy who created the conversation across the world. So that is 2020. There was some kind of exchange there. Let me see. Senior officials in a separate situation, the FBI. We'll get to the FBI. Just let me take a look at the second page of this, see if we're going to cover anything else in here. Apart from content moderation, I want to address the contributions I made during the last presidential cycle to support electoral infrastructure. The idea here was to make sure that local election jurisdictions across the country had the resources they needed to help people vote safely during a global pandemic. I made these contributions through the Zuckerberg initiative. They were designed to be nonpartisan, spread across urban, rural, and suburban communities. Still, despite the analysis I've seen seen showing otherwise. I know some people believe this work benefited one party over another. My goal is to be to be neutral and not play a part one way or the other, or even appear to be playing a role. So I don't plan on making a similar contribution this cycle. Let's see if that's true. Let's see if that's true. Do Maury Povich style paternity test. So star in reverse. All right. So 5 of Pentacles, Empress. So, oh boy. But he's still kowtowed to the big cheese, the big cheese. So I do believe him. The cards do say that Zuck was looking for equity and fairness during the global pandemic. I'm going to give him that. I'm going to say yes. He didn't see that there was a possibility or an ability for everyone to be able to vote. This is outside of the sanctity here. This is no one was nurturing the situation. No one was trying to make that situation better. I disagree with him on that because I do think that we still would have been able to have the election. Here, this is the illusion that the former president, the former government had their boot on everyone's neck, that they were going to take advantage of it. I do think that he was under the impression that he needed to do something here, 8 of Pentacles, to get this boot off the little man's neck. And he kowtowed to greater powers here. So there we go. So yeah, that's again 2020. That's 2020 reading. So let's go back and we are going to fast forward to what he's doing currently. What he's doing currently. What is this change of heart? Sloppy shuffle, ladies and gentlemen. So you can have a change of heart. Mickey, don't lose that number. What is this change of heart? What is this change of heart? Zuck, Zuck, Zuck. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why do we have this change of heart? Page of Wands. This is I muffed up, to use my 6th, 7th, 8th grade language. I muffed up. I did the wrong thing. I reacted before I looked at the whole situation. These pages of Wands are very reactive. They will jump. They will do before they think. They're fast energy. And this was somebody who was caught up in the maelstrom of the pandemic. We have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. There's that money, 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 money. So I think he was sold a bill of goods by some of the powers that be. 6 of Cups, very regretful over what he did. He's not an unsmart guy. I'm going to say that. Like, Zuckerberg is not an unsmart guy. A lot of negatives there. But I don't think he's dumb. I think when you are running a huge business, sometimes you can't think about things. Myself, I don't have a huge business. I have a small business. I'm a small business owner. And my whole summer has been focused on my business. I've been in a pool like twice. I've been out in the sun very few days. And now I have a stupid flu or 19, and I'm suffering from it. And I can't do any of the production for my digital course because I don't look perfect. So I look okay. I just don't look great. So what is in the past? In the past, he thought he was doing the right thing. He did think he was doing the right thing. So now where is his head at? Now he is making amends. He knows that he did the wrong thing. He is trying to backtrack on what he said, but he's giving cause. So I'm going to give the Zuck a little bit of a pass on this. Future. King of Pentacles. He is a man of his word on this. He's not going to allow himself to be bullied or shoved into a decision moving forward. So what does that mean? We're going to pull a whole bunch of cards on this. Let me shuffle a little bit. Little storytelling here. The story of Zuck. Six of Pentacles. He is not going to be so trusting in the future. In the future, he is going to, I'm going to put these over here, guys. So we already read these. So in the future, he is going to look outside the box, look beyond the box. He is very angry at his own reaction and the leadership, the misleading that was given to him. This has made him question the government very, very much. It is questioning, and it's not questioning his fidelity to the United States, but it's questioning his fidelity to some of the powers that be. Just because they're voted in does not mean that they deserve your allegiance, is really the thought pattern that's coming through. Internally, I'm going into just psychics. Internally, he's got some issues with people that work for him. There are some people that are very idealistic. There are some people that are really, drinking the Flavor Aid. Fun fact, at Jonestown, they did not drink Kool-Aid. They drank Flavor Aid. So when people say they were drinking the Kool-Aid, they're actually slandering Kool-Aid. So it's drinking the Flavor Aid. It was Flavor Aid. So there are some people there. There's a little bit of an uproar at Meta, Facebook, I almost said Instacart, Instagram. There's a little bit of brouhaha over this because a lot of people are like, I can't believe he's doing this. I can't believe he's not supporting Biden Harris, but he's not supporting anyone. He is supporting freedom of speech. So here's our conflict. They're trying to quell that. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are think tank meetings at Meta today saying everybody just needs to calm down. This is the same place that you've always worked with the same values. Just we are not going to be directed by other organizations, specifically the government. We're going to take that information and then utilize it within our organization so that we can make the best decision for our customers, which are people like you and me that use social media. Really, really neat kind of process that's going through here. What else do we got? Wheel of Fortune. This is very cool because the idea is there is going to be bad information. So there's going to be good, there's going to be bad, but it's opinion based. So if you are a novelist or you produce a movie, there are going to be people that love your movie. There are going to be critics that don't love it. There's going to be critical analysis on either side of it. He is of this ilk at this point where we need to honor all opinions. We need to have that discourse. This is what takes the pressure off it. When we silence voices, they get raised the next time they post. They're in all caps. There's a lot of exclamation points. There's angry emojis. And now he's saying we need to have the freedom of discourse because it's like a river that's flowing. We are going to be able to debate appropriately. One of the things, I've said this before, during the pandemic, Greg and I printed out the Bill of Rights and the Constitution and busted out the Lincoln Douglas debate format. And we taught the kids as best we could the Lincoln Douglas debate because it's important to say, I don't believe in X for these reasons, for these specific reasons, especially when they're based on our Constitution or our Bill of Rights. So, it's not, I don't want X because I feel this way. You can't do that. It's too personal. We have to work within the framework of law and order. We have to have some semblance of reasonable thought. Everyone's voice has a place. You are going to be able to discern which voices are reliable and unreliable based on your own data and analysis of that. So, he's really falling into this category. So let's see how, well, actually we're going to skip this. Let's talk about disinformation. So misinformation, disinformation, I just want to define these. Misinformation is you promote information that you just were mistaken. You didn't have the right information. So I got bit by a dog and it was a black cane corso. The reality is it was just a large lab with a big beefy face. That's misinformation. You vilified a breed when it actually was a different dog. Disinformation is when you get bit by a dog and it's a Yorkshire Terrier and you tell everyone that it was a Rottweiler because you didn't like the Rottweiler down the street. You want the Rottweiler to sorry about that. I've got a million tabs open, so I'm getting notifications. And you want the Rottweiler to get in trouble. So that is disinformation. So in a separate situation, the FBI warned us about, this is from the letter, a potential Russian disinformation operation about the Biden family and Burisma in the lead up to the 2020 election. That fall, we saw a New York Post story reporting on corruption allegations involving the Democratic presidential nominee, Joe Biden's family. We sent that story to fact checkers for review and temporarily demoted it while waiting for a reply. It has since been made clear that the reporting was not Russian disinformation. And in retrospect, we shouldn't have demoted the story. We've changed our policy and processes to make sure this doesn't happen again. For instance, we no longer temporarily demote things in the US while waiting for fact checkers. So, did this mistake affect the 2020 election? Did it? Absolutely. Absolutely. How culpable is Zuckerberg for this? Is he culpable for election interference? Bum. Chariot. He's trying to walk it back. He's trying to get himself away from the government that told him to do this. So we've got a couple of different organizations here. We've got two of cups here. We're separating from the organization who did us dirty, who told us we had to do this, who told us that we needed to do it. We needed to stop that information from going out because it would change the game. Up here, he's responsible for it. In the future, oh my goodness, that 10 of Pentacles. This is going to affect him very badly. Very, very badly. Is this, it basically is election interference. This is election interference. He interfered with the election via instruction. I'm saying all the key words right now. Temperance. He doesn't want to be balanced or reasonable or bipartisan now. Others are seeing him as the King of Cups, someone very, very in control of what they're doing, but also that is manipulating this situation so that they can have a desired outcome. Hopes and fears. Boom. Ace of Swords. Really worried about getting in trouble. Ace of Swords is an executioner sometimes. I want you guys to know that. Outcome. Ooh, Seven of Pentacles. This is going to look really bad. The look back is a very poor look back. This shouldn't have been squashed. It should have been allowed to pass. Oh my goodness. So is the Zuck going to get in trouble? Zuck, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I don't know him personally. But Zuck, are you watching this? Whew. Is Zuck going to have to pay for this? Is he going to get in trouble for this? Is he going to be part of this? Page of Wands. Ace of Cups. Yeah. 10 of Swords. He's going to get in trouble. He's going to get in trouble, but he is going to eventually restore himself. He is going to say that he did what his leaders told him to do, what his overlords told him to do. He's going to say that. But he's separating himself from that organization, from the individual. So if it's the FBI who is instructing him this, he is going to distance himself very, very much so. This is, he did do it, didn't like it, had to squash that story, but followed recklessly. He is going to, he's going to, sorry, like I said, I've got pop-ups galore today. Dismiss. There we go. He is going to testify against, I'm saying it right now, he's going to testify against the people who instructed this. This is not the end of this. This letter is only the beginning. This letter is only the beginning. What is it the beginning of? What is it the beginning of? We're looking for justice. We're looking for temperance. We're looking for all those balance cards. Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. What is this the beginning of? This is the match. I just said it. We're looking for the temperance card. This is an equalized justice. This is what we're looking for. This is the beginning of righting some wrongs. Crosses it. The world. There's a process going on, guys. A process. Things are being corrected. The Hierophant under the surface. This is we the people. In this reading, this is usually seats of power, but in this reading, this is we the people. This is a mass of people. This is correcting this behavior. Six of Cups made poor decision up here. Holding people to task. That's Hangman's in reverse, but this is holding people to task. This is what they have to do. They have to make the correction, and the people that were responsible for this disinformation are going to be put on trial. Five of Cups. It may not stick. We may not get a stick on this. We may not get all the people. Seven of Pentacles looking back, looking for a change of course. Eight of Cups walking away. That is a hope. Six of Wands. We're going to be successful in this. So what do I think is going to happen? I think Zuck, I'm going to just pull myself up here. I think Zuck is going to come over, and I think he is going to testify about how that how the coercion took place, what exactly took place, and how he was prevented from allowing the free discourse on a social media site. I think he's going to do that. In that, I think that this is going to become a much bigger issue. Now, is this dependent on what candidate wins? I do think it's going to be dependent on what candidate wins, but this looks like a match was lit. And we are, that little line that goes to the powder keg. I think the match is going to get dropped onto that line. Not the last we've heard of this. I think next week we're going to hear a lot more about this. This certainly is going to be a discussion in the debates coming up and in the news. So we'll keep an eye on this. I think this is hot topic. As a social media person, as someone with a YouTube channel, and I'm praying that this video is not going to get squashed, I think that this is incredibly important. I have an entertainment channel. I do psychic readings. So, there is always the changing course of free will and energy into the future. I do say that in my readings all the time. Nothing is carved in stone. Nothing is fated and rock solid. We always have that free will that gets in the way and can change the course of events. I read the energies that are happening at the moment. This is the energy that's at the moment. I think this is going to be a big deal. I'm here for it. The Chinese say, may you live in exciting times or interesting times. We certainly do. We're going to follow up on this. We're going to keep talking about it over the next couple of weeks. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Thanks for watching this video. Again, I'm Annabelle. If you'd like to book your own private reading with me, there's a link down below. I'm honoring my 20% off summer pricing for any readings that are booked through the 31st. You can book them in the future. The listing is still up there. So if you want to book discounted reading in September or in October, you can go ahead and do that now. Also, my digital course, Tarot 101, is going to be available. I'm hoping by the 5th. I did get derailed by this stupid flu or 19 that I picked up. So that will be up and running, but I do have my Lenormand courses up there, and there's also a free tarot course, and I added some, it's a 3-day free tarot course. I added some interesting things to it, so you can go in there and have some fun with it. So I will see you all in the future. Thanks for watching.